Caitlin Clark can light it up, and she's been terrific already early in this ball game. 9 quick points, knocking it down from 3, creating space for herself. But Pam, a year ago, she led the country not only in points but in assists, and she's done a really good job, particularly in transition, of finding her open teammates. Hannah Stokey being the recipient a couple of times, and I like best that she is now attacking the paint, getting to the free throw line more, getting 2 feet into paint, staying on balance.
Pam Ward and Stephanie White joining you from Iowa City. This is the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Iowa leading 17-13, but they got off to the 9-1 start. Caitlin with all 9 points, but since then, NC State with a nice run, hit 5 of their last 8 to close out the first quarter and get close. The headline here is Monica Czinano not only hasn't scored, but hasn't taken a shot. She's good.
She is, and again, I go back to, we fall in love with the logo threes, and there were times earlier in her career where she settled for that. But now scoring on all 3 levels, and it just makes her even tougher to guard. And Pam, we talked to her earlier today at shoot-around too, because she's stronger, and she said that I'm more physical. I can last longer in the ball game. She knows she's going to take everybody's best shot, but you just see how easy she creates space.
She certainly makes it look easy. Mimi Collins, number 2 in red, has checked in for NC State, former Maryland Terrapin. Another newcomer on this club for the Pack.
Well, the physicality inside. Monica Czinano trying to get position, and you can see her and River Baldwin really going at it inside.
Baldwin called for the foul. This was a concern for Lisa Bluter, stopping NC State in transition. And they like to hit threes in transition. Brown Turner gets on the score sheet. And it's a 3-point ball game. Caitlin Clark makes it a 5-point ball game.
We did the Steph Curry comparison in the open, but like Steph Curry, she never stops moving. And that's a sign of a great offensive player. You never stop moving. You continue to find open areas.
Johnson open for 3.
And this is good. NC State starting to knock down some shots. They started at the end of that first quarter, getting into the paint, getting some easy ones, now stretching it out to 3.
15 straight games now. Johnson has hit at least 1 3. That goes back to last year. Around the horn, Gabby Marshall left open. Kate Martin could not corral the rebound for Iowa.
Great ball movement right here. Movement without the ball by Caitlin Clark. And Diamond Johnson from the 3-point line on the skip pass against the zone. Shot ready, knocks it down.
Johnson, incredible from 3 this year. Over 50% from distance for Diamond. Coming into this game, 21 of 40 from 3. And Czinano really trying to get some space, now guarded by Hobby, who sets the screen for Clark. Step back 3, no good. And the smallest player on the floor, Johnson, gets the rebound. Rivers running.
I like Sanaya Rivers and Diamond Johnson on the floor together. Rivers does such a good job of getting out in transition. Diamond Johnson has her head up and finds her.
Tie ball game. Rivers had it taken away by Gabby Marshall and committed the foul. This is the first tie of the game. NC State on an 8-2 run in that game, right? No.
Why not? That'd be all right.
I'm free. It's not cheap. Rivers committed the foul. Last play. Now Iowa's starting to give the ball away. Johnson inside to Collins. Caitlin Clark thought she made a good defensive play, but instead committed her first personal foul.
Lisa Bluter was also concerned about that defensive transition, and there Mimi Collins is open, and it sure does look like that was all ball.
That was...
It's the demonstrative arm coming down, probably what the official saw, but that was all ball.
It was a nice play by Clark. Collins at the line. NC State, her 3rd school. Started at Tennessee, then a couple of years at Maryland, her home state, and now at NC State. And NC State with the lead. First lead of the game for the Pack. Sends McKenna Warnock to the free throw line. It's a 7-0 run over the last minute and a half for NC State as Lisa Bluter has a conversation with Caitlin Clark. Warnock at the line. Had a good weekend in Portland. Double figures against both Oregon State and UConn. Warnock. Second team All Big Ten performer last season ties up the game. Clark with the pick. And she's showing there, I mean, she's got good speed. She's got really good ability.
Good speed, good anticipation. I mean, that's the thing about Caitlin Clark for the next level. It is getting better, more consistent on the defensive end of the floor. And that time knew exactly what was coming, got in the passing lane.
Many of the fans here, Carver Hawkeye, on their feet. They sit down after the shot by Collins.
But NC State now doing a much better job of attacking and then kicking for those threes. They're getting a foot in the paint, forcing a little bit of a rotation, and then getting a three after that. But you can't trade threes with Iowa.
Not when they have her, especially. Caitlin Clark with 18. Czinano battling Hobby for the rebound. Camille Hobby is kind of an underrated player. Would come in to spell Canaan last year more of a physical presence. And another whistle tonight.
Well, Caitlin Clark does a really good job of anticipating this. They knew the play from the scouting report, and then a score in transition, and then again, I mean, she just cannot have that much space. When you're playing Caitlin Clark, you can't afford to help. You've got to force her off the three-point line. You know she's going to score, but you want her to score going to the rim.
Cut off that time trying to go to the rim by Brown Turner, and then simply backed up, had it cup out. Very quick release, too, on that shot.
She lulls you to sleep a little bit, yeah. She lulls you to sleep a little bit, thinks she's going to attack, and gets it off so quick.
That's a foul on Warnock. The fans don't agree. That's kind of a defensive conundrum, right? With someone like Caitlin Clark, is how close do you guard her, knowing that she could, you know, she could do the pull-up, she could fade away, she could blow right by you.
I mean, look, she's going to get her points. The challenge and the goal is always to make it just as difficult as possible. When she gets it, you want her taking 25, 27 shots. You don't want her being efficient with open looks.
Brown Turner puts NC State back on top. Caitlin has 12 shots today and has made 7 of them. Czinano back on the bench for the Hawkeyes. Shot clock into single digits. Marshall needs to shoot, but she couldn't handle it. Davis able to draw iron. Rebound out of bounds to the Pack.
Well, it has been the Caitlin Clark show early in this ball game. Great job on the defensive end of the floor. Offensively, knocking it down from 3.
Coming up Sunday, 3 Eastern time on ABC. Yes, it's UConn and Notre Dame. UConn already with 3 wins against top 10 teams. They beat Iowa last weekend in Portland, and Notre Dame scoring, but they lost a heartbreaker to Maryland tonight. Diamond Miller with an absolute dagger to end the game for the Terps. And out of the timeout, Jada Boyd with the bucket. NC State has made 5 of its last 6 shots. They trailed in the first quarter by as many as 8 points. Caitlin Clark with 18 so far, but Monica Czinano has yet to score, and she's still on the bench for Iowa.
Yeah, Czinano a little uncharacteristic early in this ball game.
Stokey with the miss as Czinano comes in and will check in at the next whistle.
If you're Wes Moore, though, you have to be happy with what you've gotten from your bench. I mean, the bench really has come in and given this team a lift. 13 points off the bench as Stokey takes the offensive foul from River Baldwin. And this is one of those things, though, even as a young player, she creates space and then she recovers right as the pass is coming. And look at where she is, left shoulder. That is a scouting report detail. And attention to detail as a young player gets you more time on the floor.
And that was a veteran move by the freshman to draw that charge. 2 fouls now on River Baldwin. And yes, Czinano back in the game, working against Baldwin. Physical down there on the post. Czinano with just 1 shot tonight, has yet to score. Marshall trying to get it to her on the bounce pass, and now it's Baldwin's turn to draw an offensive foul.
Between River Baldwin and Camille Hobby, the level of physicality tonight with Monica Czinano is high, and just a really good job of moving her feet. There's nothing extra. She's holding her ground. They're both going at it. I think that action right there, the screen and roll situation, is how you've got to get her some touches. But River Baldwin, great job of establishing her position.
Well, all that banging, and then she draws the offensive foul on the drive. Here's Clark. Another 20-point ball game for Caitlin Clark. 8 straight now with at least 20 points, and we're still in the first half. Davis forces the turnover. Marshall's going to wait for help. Boy, Czinano and Baldwin, that's epic. And that's also 3 fouls on River Baldwin.
Caitlin Clark in transition. Again, it's really just tough to defend. You're coming up because you think she's going to do one of those heat check threes, and a great job of finishing at the rim. And she says, hey, it's loud. Let's make it louder.
Well, Baldwin, who's a very important component to try to stop Czinano, is on the bench with 3 fouls.
That is a tough matchup to officiate right there, because both players incredibly physical. Czinano initiating contact on the post-up, Baldwin holding her position, sometimes giving it back. I mean, I like the level of physicality inside, but that is a tough position to officiate.
Absolutely. Czinano gets her first point of the ball game. About 18 minutes in. Hobby now in to play the post. Rivers nailed it.
Really good. That was great poise, execution against the zone. Get the ball in the high post and work from there.
Clark with another
poise, execution against poise, execution against the zone. Get the ball in the high post and work from there.
Clark with another fadeaway. She has matched her jersey number 22, first half points.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
And you know, you know kind of what she's going to do, and nobody can stop it. And she's so consistent. Hobby with the nice look. 6'1" senior out of Jacksonville. First-year starter. Davis picked up her dribble. And Clark has it taken away by Rivers. NC State has made 6 straight shots.
Czinano Rivers has been big off the bench for NC State. Offensively, she's been scoring the basketball. Defensively now, she's got a tremendous check and challenge with Caitlin Clark.
Steps by Warnock before she got going.
Well, offensively, we saw NC State working the high post position against the zone. A great inside out. Czinano Rivers knocking down the 3. And then off the steal in transition. She's been terrific in transition, running the lane, finishing. I mean, it's important. We asked Westmore, who's going to be that spark off the bench now that Diamond Johnson is in the starting lineup? And he said, it is Czinano Rivers. She can give us a lot.
Missed on that shot. Rivers on South Carolina, team with so much talented depth, transferring to NC State, making a huge impact so far today. Clark slows things down, trying to use as much clock as possible. Coach Bluder says go. They clear out for Caitlin. Wow. Boyd with the miss. NC State, after a slow start, takes a 4-point lead into the locker room. Caitlin Clark having herself a night. 24 points in the first half. Lots of highlights, lots to talk about.